special cars for that race.
And we know that.
Yeah.
We know that.
Which is cool.
This whole thing, honestly, I'll tell you, I thought that this series would start bigger than what we're seeing with 9 cars at Southern Oregon.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
It's hard to say without being in those guys' minds. I can't put my finger on
their
what's
lives.
going on.
Yeah, it's just life. People are, life goes on. Some people can't make it. They just can't make it. Things come up.
I get it.
Yeah.
But when there's $1,000 to win.
I know.
And Don Schott walked away with $1,000
He did.
over last year's Iron Giant champion.
Kyle Yak.
So any of you guys that can't
Jack
make
Parcell,
that,
Jordan
can't make
McDonald.
one of those races, just let Corey or Joel or I know, and we'd gladly take your car down and run it for you.
Sure.
Not me.
I would.
No.
Why?
Dude, windshields blind me.
He's scared.
It sounds like it.
He's scared.
He looks scared right now.
I've tried to get him in these carts, and he's, I'm not driving one of those. I'm not doing it.
It was hard enough getting him in the thing at Steve Moore's show.
It was, yeah. Remember that when you lost your money?
Yeah, I'm about ready to get it back.
No,
here.
you're not.
I'm gonna get it back.
You're gonna lose $40 this time. Gosh. So Don Schott wins. Sign and Jenner, both blue engines.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean those are 2 names you don't expect to hear that. Sign and Jenner. I mean, when it comes to the street stocks, those are great race cars. Those are good drivers. You don't expect to hear those guys blue engines. And Chris did it like 3 laps into hot laps.
Oh wow,
man.
So he was. I talked to them on the phone. He's a little disappointed. We'll talk to them later on. Right now, just recapping things that happened
Kyle Yak,
this
second
last
place.
week. Yeah, and from what I understand, Kyle led a lot of that.
Let's see. Oops. Okay, we're trying to look at the graph that Joel just brought up
But
here.
I'm telling you right now.
There you go.
Don Schott. No, Kyle, the heat race is what I saw. The heat race at Kyle, I think he won that race. But Don Schott, that 11X car. And you guys have heard me talk about this car, whether we're at the track or here on the show. It truly is, in the entire Northwest, that is one of my favorite race cars. Mm-hmm. It's the white, the white Nova with the blue 11X.
Mm-hmm.
I love that car just because it looks like the stuff I grew up watching when I was a kid. It's got that old school, nostalgic.
Yeah, you definitely like that.
I love
old
it.
school
I
nostalgic
love
look,
that
don't you?
stuff. And if you've ever talked with Don's the guy, you see him from across the way, and you go, oh, man, I'm not making that guy mad. But the guy's one of the nicest guys you're going to meet in racing in the North. This is an awesome guy. And
we can say that about just about anybody we talk about.
well, Don is one of those guys that this looks like you don't look at him wrong, or you're going to lose a tooth.
Not putting him down by no
No,
means.
no. I'm just saying he's
Yeah.
got that. He's got that tough guy outlaw look, and
Yeah.
just a super cool guy. I mean, one of those guys you don't judge a book by the cover type deal.
Yep.
He's that guy. But man, that dude can drive. I mean, he is one of those guys that was born 100 years too late. He truly should have been an old school gunslinger, because when he gets in that car, man, oh man, he lets it hang out. I mean, he lets that thing roll.
Right on.
There is no doubt that he leaves it all on the track. And that's one thing I appreciate watching him. I mean, he'll take some chances.
Yeah.
But he is fun to watch.
No matter what he's in, if he's in that street stock or if he's in the 11X modified, Don Schott gives us a show.
Yeah.
No matter what.
That's what they should call him, the show. The Shot.
Shot show.
The Shot Show. He is fun.
Shots
Congrats
fired.
on that. That's a good win for him.
Yep.
And look who got second. James Whitehouse.
Right
Remember
on.
the little, I want to say it's a 69 Chevelle.
Yeah.
The one that was here 2 years ago at the car show. The blue one with number 49. Beautiful race car.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I love that car.
Yeah, that is a good-looking ride. And good run. Oh, he was third. Sixth? What would you have up? Was that the heat race?
No, I had the lap chart up. You can't
I
read the lap chart.
I hate those charts. Just give me the finishing order widescreen. We've talked
You
about
asked
this.
me a question about the lap chart.
I didn't
so
ask
I went
it.
into the lap chart.
So anyway.
Oh, my Lanta.
I want to know. So 1.175 between Kyle Yak, who finished second, and Don Schott.
That's
No.
pretty close.
And look at that. That 914 car was right behind Kyle.
That's the look. I mean, they were right behind him. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
7/100ths of a second.
pretty good racing right there.
What is that? What is that saying? 3 cars on the lead lap?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a 50-lap main too.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Now that is one thing I will say. I like it. I like the long races personally myself. A lot of these guys in the street stocks are saying it's too long. What's your opinion?
Well, and the thing with a street stock is, in any race car, is that when you build it for the dirt and the short track, you're building it for roughly 40 to 50 laps. Cautions, long races, etc. When you start adding on those extra laps, like we do modifieds, we typically go 40 laps. We'll have a 50-lap madness, I believe, later this year. Late models go 40 laps every week.
Mm-hmm.
They have a 100-lapper this year.
I love it.
I love it too. But those cars are only designed for that many laps before you need... Because you think about it, every night, and this is one thing that when I was crew chiefing, I always ran numbers on and gauge things on, is average night you're putting anywhere from 80 to 100 laps on your car, roughly.
Racing laps.
Between
Cautions, everything.
Cautions, mud in,
Dash,
qualifying,
heat.
So
dash.
you're talking about just the feature.
I'm talking about just laps
Total
on the
laps.
car.
You're going to put more than 80 laps on the car on a race night.
Unless you're in a Hornet or a street stock, because they're typically run 20, 25 laps, tops. So then you start basing your maintenance schedule off that and everything else. So when we go for a 50 lap or an extended feature, you're not getting as frequent of a maintenance on that car.
Right.
Because you're going to have more high-speed laps, more wear on the car. Maybe that's what people are looking at.
Yeah, mix it up a little.
Mm-hmm. What would you? What do you think about 50 laps for a street stock feature?
I think it's fine. Especially with a high car count.
Right.
If you have few cars out there like 9,
right?
I think 50 laps might be a bit many, but
okay, I agree. I'm
like
just a
it.
fan of the longer races.
Yeah, me too.
I miss the twice a year running 100-lap features for the late models at Willamette. I love that stuff growing up.
That's when it becomes attrition of the car, not attrition of the track.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, we see some really cool, really fun, neat things happen in those longer races.
Well, yeah, it's changing it up. That's what
you can see a guy lead the field, get bumped, get spun, go to the back, and have enough time to race his way back up.
Right.
That's
right.
exciting
Exactly.
to watch. That's exciting to watch. Now, if you've only got 25 laps to work with, and that happens halfway through, and you're sitting 20th and with 12 laps to go, I mean, it'll be fun watching that guy, but you're not going to see him race back up and battle for the lead typically. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but
yeah, I'm fine with the longer races.
I
Myself
like
as a
right.
spectator / announcer, whatever.
Right. I like them too. I do.
I don't mind them. The action in them, now that I'm not crew chief and having to worry about it.
and that does make a difference.
And literally
Yeah.
sitting there with my pen and paper and a calculator, calculating fuel, my
Right.
fuel load in the car. I'm good. I like
Yeah.
the action. I like that.
I think
that
most
extra
fans,
little bit.
I think most fans will say that as well.
You still use a calculator and a pen? You don't use scales?
It's kind of hard to scale a car when it's going around
I'm
the
surprised
track.
you have to use a calculator at all. I mean,
You're talking about mileage. I mean, how do you figure your mileage?
Oh, don't.
that's when he gets the app.
I actually worked on a super trucks in Portland at PIR.
Yeah.
I pitted, and that was the difference between Portland Speedway and the bigger times, because they actually weigh their fuel. They weigh their fill cans after they're done
Right.
fueling,
Yep.
and they had a catch can then, so you add that, and
Right.
they knew exactly how much fuel they burned in X amount of laps, and I'm pretty precise on fuel mileage, So I always thought that was really interesting. That's something I didn't know that.
Well, and that's where too the setup on these cars. I mean, when you start talking, and I know we're getting off topic here, but when you start talking the crate motors and the modifieds or any crate series where you're taking horsepower away from the car, you want to lighten the car up, make it as light and as friction free as possible. So we'd even go as far as to put, if we were going to run banks, we'd put a 16-gallon fuel cell in it, take the
Change
22 or 30-gallon out, or vice versa.
Right.
We're going to Elma. We're going to put the biggest dang fuel cell we can in there because we know we're going to use every last drop of the son of a gun. Then you start talking different carburetor, fuel ratios, all this other stuff. It starts getting NASCAR-y, and it's like, okay, guys, we're racing dirt track here. Time out.
Well,
but you have to, you take that extra step for that competitive edge.
yeah.
Whereas
some people just fill it up and keep it full for rear weight. You just never
that's
know.
the other thing I do is, depending on track conditions, if I needed more rear weight percentage, I'd throw extra fuel in the car.
Yeah.
been there, done that. I mean, that's like one of the oldest tricks in the book. Or I'd go find a piece of lead and put it on the back of the car.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of dates from conversations we had earlier.
You got dates.
You got a date?
Updates.
Oh, okay.
First of all, Heather said as of right now, 41 cars are pre-registered.
So they've gained more in the
For
last
4,100
23
to
hours.
win. 41 was Marvin's number, so they've got 41
Oh,
cars.
nice.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we were talking about pure stock versus street stock.
Uh-huh.
Okay? No weight jacks are allowed on pure stocks. 2-barrel carbs, all stock suspension, but they can run the G60s this year.
Right.
So
tires basically from stock, as
No, they gotta
as
run-
in the
they-
name,
they
pure
have to-
stock, except for the tires.
right?
Yeah.
Basically, is what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
It's the only exception.
Pretty much, yeah. No weight jacks, 2-barrel carb, all stock suspension, but they do get a race tire, which is cool. I mean, that's a good move.
Yeah.
I like that. Man, so much going on. I want to talk about the Millbridge deal going on back in North Carolina right now, with where Bryson James is.
Right.
Okay. The Speed 51 Open. Okay. $5,151 to win. Cage kart race. They've got this deal back there.
So wait, they're paying more than the Marvin Smith race?
Yeah. But we're talking, you're getting Ricky Stenhouse there. You're getting Kyle Larson
you're talking
there.
East Coast.
You're talking big, NASCAR names. We're talking Kyle Larson, who I think won it a couple years ago. Bryson was third.
Yeah. He ran third to Rico and to Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now I know where we're at.
So he's back there. Actually, he's driving. There's 4 Oregon guys going back. Bryson James, Christian Osborne, Devin Borden, and Mike Wheeler. Wheeler, we know how fast he is. We know how fast Bryson is. Christian Osborne, another young guy coming up, is very fast. And same with Devin Borden. These guys are driving for the Oregon Outlaws. The Ron Osborne camp, driving for them. Check this out. $5,151 to win.
Okay.
That's before they call it the back row bonus. Okay.
Starting like something like we did a couple weeks ago.
No.
No, nothing like that.
Well, same principle.
Okay.
But listen to this. If you qualify for the front row, okay, pole position has the option to start last. If he doesn't want to, outside front row can take that challenge. There's only 2 cars that are eligible to do it, okay? You have to start last, and if you win, $25,000.
Wow.
Whoa. You've got to
So there's incentive. There's incentive to get the best qualifying lap you can.
So hang on.
But let me ask you a question. Do you really, we're talking the premier cage kart drivers on the planet. Do you really want to start in the back row against those guys? I know you got a shot at $25,000, but let's be realistic.
Why did you go back there?
Huh?
If you're a driver, why did you go back to that race?
I think to run against the best.
No.
To win.
So if
And
you're there
make
to
money.
if you're there to win, why not start in the back?
If you're there to win, why not start in the back? Because the chances of you winning starting in the back are next to impossible. Next to. I'm not saying it's not impossible. I'm not possible. I'm saying it's next to.
These cars have bumpers, right?
I'll tell you right now.
I'll tell you right now, if I had a car that I was confident in, and I was confident in my own driving, and I qualified on the pole for versus 5,000 versus 25,000, I'm going to the back.
I would too. Absolutely.
And if I'm there in the first place, I'm probably pretty damn confident in myself.
And heck,
And
I
my
put
car.
$20 on Roger Crockett there too.
Okay, so let's put this in Warren's terms, where he
Warren's
comes
terms.
from.
Warren's
You just won the pole at Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you've got, the best of the best in the NASCAR world. But now let's cut that race in half. Let's make it 100 laps, and it's say it's 200,000 to go to the back against that field of cars. No pit stops. And you got to go. It's a sprint race. You got to go right now. Are you going to take that challenge against the best in the world?
Well, if I'm there running in that race, I'm already making good money. So I'm going to the back. Yeah. Heck yeah.